All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm TopHatCat. I'm joined here with Silva today, and we are going to be talking about content, specifically community-powered content, which is what we are all about here in MVHQ. So just to kind of give you an overview of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today is going to be our various content offerings within MVHQ, how we empower the community through our content arm and the whole MVHQ platform, and also why we make the content we do. So I'm going to start us off here. Before we get into our content, first I want to talk about just the absolute state of content in Web3. We've all seen it. I mean, it's clickbaity, it's disingenuous. They always, well, I guess that's really the state of all content, right? But specifically Web3, a problem that we have is that everyone just promises unrealistic gains, right? That's like the way that you get people to click your video, act like you have a crystal ball and that you're going to make them a fortune. So we don't like that, obviously. That's always never been something that I've aligned with personally. I mean, obviously we all want to make money, but you don't want to lie to people and just, clickbait them into watching your content. So if the content isn't just boiling down to, here's how you're going to make money, then what can it be? Like, what types of content are important? Really, what types of content are entertaining? And then how can we deliver that content to our members in like a timely, efficient, and sometimes beautiful way. So Silva, do you want to talk to him?
Absolutely, yeah. So here at MVHQ, I really want to echo a lot of what Top Hat just said there, where we are not about, clickbaity, just trying to get clicks for the sake of it, right? We really pride ourselves and all the members here on providing actionable, alpha and any sort of insights and perspective that are going to give us that edge, right, in whatever it may be. You can kind of see here, looking at this slide that we put together, that across all of our field reports, you're going to see tons of different topics, and really that's what it's for. That the field report is probably the biggest, most widely used portion of editorial content we have here at Metaverse HQ. And, I'm super proud of that. I know the whole content team is, and it's because of our community and the fact that you all are the ones who, you work so hard to bring us your insights, your perspectives, your analysis, right? All of that is from you. And so I think that shines, the brightest here in field reports, and you can kind of see it in this screenshot we kind of cropped out of the field reports. Just the wide variety of alpha or actionable insights that you can get information from. From presetting gas in MetaMask to, how to use a new tool or a tool that might be new to some people with Alpha Sharks, or, very project specific insights in Alpha, like on a project that might be a little under the radar or new, like you see here by Easus with Overline. You're going to get macro insights from Shaggy. You're going to get, wallet structure and safety, beginners guides to different blockchains, really everything. You get a little bit of everything here, and that's what the field report section is for. Like I've kind of just tried to outline, you're going to cover very specific projects. You could cover a wide topic, like an entire, like I said, a beginner and intros guide to a blockchain like Tezos, like Ezrin covered in the last week or two. This is really just that catch-all area where if you feel like you have insights, perspective, an edge, anything that you think is worth sharing, this is the place for it, right? And again, we MVHQ has built itself on these community-based contributions from all of you, from myself, from staff, admin, all the way down. It is all community run, and I myself personally, I couldn't be more proud of that, and just to get to work with everyone that I do day in and day out, all of the the amazing contributors we have here. And so for these field reports specifically, as most of you who have been here, for a couple of months or maybe even a year plus, these are only going to be found in Discord. And for any of our newer members, these are kept in Discord primarily because, they contain alpha. They contain, like I said, things that give us an edge in the market. Or if you see Raga's post here in Dookie Dash, right? That is something that's going to have very, valuable financial outcomes for some of the players who are playing it. So any sort of little tip, trick, edge that can give you even a 1% kind of boost, like, this is the place for it, and you're going to find all of those sorts of tips and tricks here. And so that's why we want to keep it in the Discord, and why we are so protective of it, is because you all work so hard to bring that together and to present it and to share those ideas with the community. We want to make sure we're keeping that safe within our walls. That is kind of a sacred little boundary that we really do not like to be crossed. When any of this makes its way outside of the Discord, that's a big no for us, because we treasure it, and we want to protect it as much as you all went to the effort to create it. So as important as it is for you all producing the content and getting it out there, we want to make sure we're giving it its credit, by giving it the importance that really it deserves. So anyone at all, anyone, me, you, Top Hat, Poop, all of us are able to be a field reporter. There is no qualification or designation. It is more just, we want to make sure that you are, you kind of understand the loose guidelines we go with. As fun as it is to have Raga's Dookie Dash tips here, this isn't a place for you to necessarily write about any other kind of video game tips, right? That's not necessarily going to help give us an edge in the market or something NFT Web3 related. So, if you have any interest in becoming a field reporter, really, the entire process is shooting a DM to myself or to Poop, reaching out about what you'd want to write about. And, we kind of hit off the process from there, do a little back and forth, a little workshopping, give it a read through when you're done. And after that, you're kind of off to the races. You are at your own discretion to bring these topics to us, to MBHQ, at your own leisure. There is no minimum amount required to write about. There is no weekly or monthly quota that we look for, right? We understand that everyone here at MBHQ has other responsibilities in life. For some of you, NFTs and trading is your second or even third job, right? So we want to respect that. And if you are passionate about something and you want to write a field report, but it might be the only one you have time for all year, that is perfectly fine. Please don't let that be the thing that stops you, from bringing it to us and, really getting it out there and, trying to build up your own brand, right? Even if it's one post, two posts, like that alone can make a huge difference for so many of our members. So I can personally speak to that and say that my first field report, I was hesitant to write about, but as soon as I got one or two under my belt, it's become so much easier. And I really, that was a problem that I faced. And so anyone who thinks they might not have the time for it or might not be qualified or any of those other things, I would just urge you to get all those thoughts out of your head, because if you are in here, if you are, you're in chat, you're in voice chat, you're mixing it up with everyone, you are where you're supposed to be. And you are, you have the expertise and the technical knowledge to write a field report. So I really want to try and empower everyone within this community to be able to take those steps and, build up their own content, build up their own brand, share their ideas, whatever your end goal might be. I want to be here to help you get there. So
beautifully said, Silva. Yeah, very, very well said. I'm about to bust through the wall, like Jacob said here in chat. I'm amped up, man. I want to add one thing on there, and that's just you use your blesses, right? So if you have your daily bless and you haven't used it, pop into field reports and just look at the amount of time and sweat people have put into these reports. And if you have one that is just going to go unused, bless somebody in here that's sharing the alpha. It goes a long way to help recognize people when they put out works like this. So just take some time, go through, and if you get any info from it, feel free to be generous with the blesses, right? So, all right. So field reports are awesome. I'm juiced up. But Silva, I have a question. What should we do for, you want to write and you want to make content, but you just need it to be a little bit more visually stimulating. Is there any option for people there?
Oh, THC. That is such a good question. I think my next slide addresses that very thing, coincidentally. Um, so, like THC is saying, if just a written out report or notes is not really your style, if you want to go a step above that, maybe with any sort of graphics or a deeper kind of think piece, then that's why we have the MVHQ magazine. And it's a little different than our field report section in that the magazine is 100% public facing. Where the field reports, we keep that in-house for the most part, like I said, kind of respecting that alpha and the work that all of you do to bring that to the community. The magazine is where we really we flip the script, and we want to showcase all of you. We want, the public to see the bright minds that we have working within MVHQ and what we have to offer. So we're going to see a little bit more in-depth analysis here. You're going to see a lot of graphics, a lot of imagery, right? It is a magazine. So if you haven't actually, seen this before, I would highly encourage, after this office hours is over, to pop over onto the MVHQ website, mvhq.io/magazine, and just, flip through one, two, heck, even all of them if you're there, right? And I think you'll see, the layouts done by DZ, the graphical work done by TopHatCat and Mac Attack. It is all just next level. I mean, it is, in my unbiased opinion, it is the best kind of most professional publication that you will see in this space. And just like the field reports, it's 100% community sourced. All of the articles, all of the writers, all of the graphics and visual flair that we have, it all comes from the community, which again is just a testament to the talent and the expertise that we have here. And we want to showcase that. We want to showcase that to the public, Web3, NFT, and even people who aren't in it yet. We want to show them why we are so hyped about it, what we're amped up for, and why they should become involved. And I see Mr. Poopaloop himself just linked our most recent issue of the magazine in the office hours chat. So if you need something to look up at because you're tired of staring at this ugly cool cat on the page, go ahead and pull that up and give it a look. And I would like to add that what you see here is our MVP cover. It is a little reward, a little gift that our MVP, who is voted on monthly, will receive. They get a special design magazine cover that is the cover of the magazine. It's not just special for them. That's what we go with for the entire issue. And so we think it's a really nice, a really special way to kind of shout out that, that MVP who's worked so hard to kind of earn that title over the course of the month.
Very well said, Silva. Yeah, some longer form content for people that need more. But yeah, also some visual flair just to keep things interesting. I did want to give a quick shout out to DGenZ, just living legend. Does the majority of the design and he does the covers. He's a beast. He helps make this whole thing work. So shout out to DGenZ. If you are in the audience or if you hear this later, man, excellent, beautiful work. So we've got field reports and we've got magazine. What do we have next here?
So the next kind of our big editorial, our written content offerings is going to be our blog, which is a fairly recent addition. It is also hosted on the MVHQ website, so you'll see it right there. If you click on the content tab, it'll be right next to the magazine little button you can click. And the blog is a nice way for us to kind of marry a lot of the ideas from the magazine and from field reports. So really, it's an area where we publish a lot of our content that can be public facing. And after a time where we've had plenty of time left in MVHQ, for our members to kind of marinate on it, right? We, like I said, we want to respect all of the alpha in all those field reports that you all work so hard to create. And in that, if it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, then we do want to eventually make that public facing, just so, again, the public has an idea of what's going on, behind the walled garden of MVHQ. So many people don't ever get to lay eyes on this, so they might not know literally the dozens and dozens and dozens of field reports that they are missing into the wide variety of topics that we cover here. Like I said, from generative artists that are, up and coming to new and exciting blockchains and everything in between. They don't know that if they're not in the Discord. So the blog is our way to pick and choose a few magazine articles, pick a couple of field reports that still have relevancy, and put them on the blog to still get that public exposure, still give the writers and the contributors a space to express themselves and to have their work in a publicly viewable repository, so that really they're always getting that credit. If you look on the screenshot here we have in the slideshow, you'll see all of the original authors, are credited for their work, whether that's Ross Boss, Relic CK, DeMarksman, Mitch. We want to make sure that you all are all getting, the praise and the commendations that you deserve for your work. And so really the blog is a great way to make all of that public so you can still get, some of those accolades that you so rightly deserve.
Hell yeah. I'm going to take a quick pause here, Silva. There is a question here in guest questions, so I just want to cover that before we move on here real quick. It was in regarding to field reports. So once someone is approved for a field report, do they need to write more than one, and are field reports compensated?
Awesome. Yeah. Welcome, Bitcoin Alchemist. So nice to have you here. Already seen a couple of great shout outs and call outs by you in some of these channels. So yeah, nice to have you, buddy. Once you're approved for a field report, no, you don't have to write more than one, right? If all you have is time for one, that is perfectly fine. I understand that a lot of people have responsibilities, different jobs, life comes at you fast. So if you have time for one this month and one 3 months from now, fantastic. We're never going to turn down any opinions, expertise, anything that our members have to share. We want to share that with everyone, and we want to make that widely available within our community. So if you only have the time for one, fantastic. We would love to have it, and we are here whenever you have more time and have something else you would like to write about. And as far as compensation is concerned, all field reporters are compensated with an allow list spot for an upcoming giveaway that is, I believe, determined randomly. It's just kind of, we have all the contributors, we have all their Discord IDs, we throw them into our giveaway bot, and it spits out, it'll spit out your name and extra time on giveaway X, Y, or Z the day that it's run. So while we don't have monetary compensation right now, we do have the allow list spots that we are able to give out. And market's heating up, and even when we were in a quote unquote bear the last couple of months, there were still a lot of projects that flew under the radar. They cooked really hard. So while we can't assign a dollar value to those allow list spots, I do still think they are very valuable.
I will add to the blessing system. It sort of gives the community a way to reward you monetarily, just because the top 5 on the blessings leaderboard at the end of the month all receive ETH rewards. Then, of course, those 5 are then all voted on for MVP, and the MVP pulls an extra 2 ETH. So yeah, there's plenty of ETH to go around for people if the blessing system is working as it is intended. So that's why I kind of gave that shout out. Just if you have extra blesses, make sure you're giving it to people that are creating content and that are literally putting in the time and the sweat and the hours to help bring you value. So because the blessing system can kind of help bring that full circle and provide some monetary reward as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it's only if it's slapping, though. Yeah, it's only if it's slapping. The community ultimately is going to decide. So if you drop a half-ass field report, then yeah, you don't expect to get showered in blesses. But yeah, I think you guys get what I'm saying.
Fantastic addition, TopHatCat. Couldn't have put it better myself. And I just did the bless leaderboard command down in voice chat to give it a look. Some of our top blessees, I guess you would say, Scott O, Ezrin, High Five. 3 out of the 5 are consistent field report writers, right? So I'm sure that's not their reason for doing it. They're not writing a field report in order to get blesses or to get on the leaderboard, but it is a nice outcome that just happens to happen, when a bunch of people find value in a post or they learn something new. So, definitely something you want to keep in mind. If you don't think you're really getting a lot of blesses and you'd like to see yourself up there, a little field report is probably a nice way to juice those a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to be the other side of the coin here. I say go for it. I say make field reports with the intention of secure and blesses, because it's just more alpha that you're going to generate, right? It's more research and more time and more value for everyone. So if that's your motivating factor, then go for it. Because I think people will definitely recognize. I mean, we had members that, in the past few months, we've had members that went from relatively quiet to very outspoken with their alpha, and we've seen almost all of them be MVPs. So the community recognizes when the effort is there. So if that's a goal of yours, then I say push it. All right. So sorry, I'm going to get us back on track here. So we got field reports, magazine, blog, and then our oldest tradition in MVHQ. Do you want to talk about that, Silva?
I will, yeah. I'll wrap it up here with an oldie but a goodie, as they would call it, the daily recap. It is, like it says there, it is truly an MVHQ tradition since the very beginning, written by our founder and leader, Jake and Bake, and our... I am blanking on my own boss's title right now, Mr. Poopaloop. I know he's an admin. THC, off the top of your head,
he's the president. He's the POTUS, man.
The president. I knew he wasn't CEO, so I didn't want to call him down. I know that's Mitch, but so our very own president, Poopaloop, him and Jake and Bake. So they really are the two originators of the daily recap, and it is what it sounds like. It is just a recap of the biggest things that have happened in the day in Web3 and NFTs. If you couldn't be around, you were traveling, you had real work, real life to attend to. This is a great way to catch up in a quick fire, rapid kind of just look at the headlines. Even in this screenshot, what did Doodles announce? What did Artifact do? What did Azuki tweet about today, right? You can kind of see, you get all the heavy hitters right here, along with what was the general market sentiment and action of the day? What were the biggest collections that moved? What had the highest amount of volume? What happened to the price of ETH? All of that can be distilled in this really, really concise one-pager. And since its beginning, MVHQ started as a Top Shot Investors Club. So this Discord has been going for over 2 years now. So Jake and Bake, in his growing duties, has kind of stepped back, and I don't want to say I took the mantle from him, but I kind of helped to fill in some of the gaps so Poop doesn't have to do it all himself, since he wears a million different hats. And yeah, it is, in my unbiased, humble opinion, I think it's just the best rundown of news you can find in Web3. Poop and I we try really hard to make it unbiased. We don't try and show favoritism toward any project, any this, that, or the other. We're not going to shill anything that we have minted or anything in our bags. We try to keep it as, right down the middle as we can, and because of that, I think we found a really good process, a really good formula. And I know if I'm out for the day and stuff comes up and I can't be in VC or in Discord, I will read this thing and I treat it like gospel. Like, I know this is where I can go to see the best summary of what's happened throughout the day. And yeah, the oldest tradition, and it'll keep on going because it constantly provides value to our members, and that's just another reason why it is only going to be found here in our Discord. If you want that alpha, you want that quick rundown, that rapid fire headline, you got to come into the MVHQ server if you want to see it.
Absolutely, love it, man. Yeah, if there's something else that I'm supposed to be doing, like the first thing that I do when I wake up and open Discord, if it's not checking the daily recap, then I have no idea what I am supposed to be doing. It's just where I start. It's literally like my morning. It's like my morning coffee, right? It's like every day, just daily recap. That's how we start. I doubt I'm alone there. I would imagine most people start their day off with the daily recap. All right, well done, Silva. That covers a lot of the editorials, or all of the editorial stuff, really. So I'm going to go into some more of the video stuff here in a second. So I did want to kind of, I guess, continue on with what Silva was saying right there at the end, right? Like the alpha lives in the server. So if you want to get this information hot off the presses, then obviously you have to be a member. That said, alpha does not last forever. There is, a window where that sort of expires expires, and it's just common knowledge at a certain point. So we have to ask ourselves as a content team, how do we use this content in a responsible way to where we're not oversharing, but we're also, educating people that are just way behind, right? So one of those ways is the weekly recap. Now, this is basically like a powerhouse tweet thread that we put out every week, and this combines a blog post, which is basically an accumulation of all of the daily recaps from that week put into one blog post, and then also I do a video as well covering some of those the best points from this weekly recap. So it's one tweet that goes out. It's got a video, it's got a blog link, it has some incredible thumbnails, which I've included here in the bottom right. These are just some top contenders from Mac Attack, the thumbnail god. I couldn't help but to include a couple of these because they're amazing. But yeah, it's basically the entire week summarized, and it's I feel like it's a very good resource for people that aren't able to keep up every day or that aren't in MVHQ and still want us to kind of influence them a little or educate them a little bit. It's a good way to kind of just pop your head in and get a quick rundown of everything. And in doing the research for these videos too, I learned quite a bit each week, and I feel like it gives me a better pulse on the market just writing them. So I know that the information is good and the alpha is good. So definitely give these a like, give these a retweet. They are also, the videos are available on Twitter and they're also on YouTube, but they're also going to be in the video content section within the server, as with all of the recordings and stuff. So weekly recaps. And we got some alpha here from Poppy. We got a POAP going live. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So the secret code, if you would like to pick up the MVHQ month POAP, is it's all one word. It's MVHQ X content, and that is written in office hours chat as well. And just a reminder, if you have picked up one of the POAPs, it's the same POAP for the whole month, so you can't stack those. So if you have one, you're good, but if you don't have it yet, go grab it now with the code MVHQX content. But yeah, so that's the weekly recap. Love doing this. It's a blast. I think we try and mix a little bit of humor in there as well. Mac is a fantastic editor, and he's great with humor through editing, through the B-roll and the stock footage and stuff like that. So gives you some nice visuals to look at while we're going through what is sometimes boring news, but often pretty amusing shit, just because Web3 is so wacky. But yeah, give those a look. There is quite a bit of backlog too. If you're curious, we've been doing it for 5 months now. So a video a week for 5 months, it adds up. So yeah, we got that going, and we're going to keep that going. Now the next production that we do is an MVHQ custom production is Numbers Therapy, which I'm sure almost all of you are familiar with. Aslo, the GOAT, hosts the show where he basically brings on experts, be it MVHQ members or people from outside, just to sort of provide like bigger macro discussions, and it's amazing. It's great content. Now this one is a podcast that rolls out on all streaming platforms, which is obviously very convenient and fantastic. But we also are rolling out videos on YouTube. We've got some reels and stuff on socials, just to try and expand the brand out further. I did recently undergo a rebrand. You'll see this beautiful logo here, again, courtesy of Mac Attack. I'm going to keep shouting them out. So yeah, we got the new branding, and we are rocking and rolling with some crazy guests lately. So you love to see it. And again, this is one that has just been going for so long. It's we're on episode 35 coming up here, and I know there was a week or two that was taken off for holidays. So 36, 37 weeks of content is that's a lot. That's a lot of content. So big commitment from Aslo. Shout out to him. Tip of the top hat to you, sir. Amazing content, and it's only going to get better as our production quality continues to increase, and we continue to lock down some really cool guests and have some interesting conversations there. So Numbers Therapy, throw it on your Spotify playlist, or again on YouTube. Go pump the stock there. And then moving on to our next production element, that is Make It Rain. If you are not familiar with Make It Rain, it is a DraftKings Rainmakers show that is a full-scale MVHQ production. So this is kind of like us pulling the trigger on like a full show, right? So it happens each week. We have multiple hosts. It's set up to where, there can be extra hosts or fewer hosts. They each have, there's recurring segments each episode. So it kind of just helps us sort of structure what a show would look like logistically and then also visually, just with our MVHQ flair and sort of putting a nice bow on it. But yeah, if you are interested in Make It Rain, you can check that out on YouTube. It also goes out as a podcast as well. And yeah, they talk about it's daily fantasy sports. So it's like DFS with NFTs. Yeah, DraftKings has their whole monopoly over there on that. But yeah, they talk about marketplace edges, their plays, their lineup strategies, and then pretty much every week JJ wins some sort of contest. So you can also just see him make money constantly and then tell you how he's going to do it next week and then actually do it. So pretty crazy. Obviously, there's some admins here on the show. We've got Poopaloop and Jake and Baker on the show. And then we've also got other hosts in Theric and JJ. And then also Ruthless and like Al Smizzle and some other people have come on the show as well. And it's been a ton of fun and really good like learning experience, like what it takes to generate like it's a full hour long show. I mean, give or take, some are over an hour, some are under, but it's quite an undertaking as far as content goes on a weekly recurring basis. So it's a lot of fun for everybody involved. I think all of the hosts have a good time and it's really fun to edit too. So yeah, those are the current live content offerings, video content offerings that we have. Definitely more to come in the future. Wink, wink. So just keep your eyes peeled. Make sure to check out that video content section just so you can see all the stuff that we're rolling out. And yeah, just keep your kind of ears to the ground. But in doing this, like in doing Numbers Therapy and Make It Rain, like these are both sort of sourced from the community, right? It's hosted by people from our community. It's born out of passion from a community. So in each of these things that we do, we are iterating and learning how to better empower the community to create the things that they want to create, right? So if you have a niche interest in something, or if you have, a desire to create content, then we want to have all the things in place ready for you so that you can just come in and we can help you make a show, be it audio or video or whatever. So we're going to take some questions at the end, but I just wanted to wrap this up with just like an open call to everybody here in the community. If there's something that you're passionate about and you want to create content, if you are comfortable with just your voice, or you just want to type, or if you want to get on camera, we will find something for you. We have, pieces in place. We're continuing to scale, so I don't want to promise the world right now immediately, but definitely reach out to us because we can get the ball rolling, we get the pieces in place, and we can custom build something around you just to help empower you and create more content, like we've done with Numbers Therapy, like we've done with Make It Rain, and like we'll continue to do with all the shows that we have in the works now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just if you guys want to be involved in any way, you can reach out to Poopaloop, Silva, or myself. Yeah, Silva, is there anything that you wanted to add there at the end?
Yeah, thanks so much, THC, and very well said. Yeah, the only thing I'll add is I kind of touched on it a bit in my 20-minute too long spiel. Don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, I've been in this server since the key minted, the very first wave of key sales back in July of 2021, and it took me well over a year to write my first field report. And I look back on that and I have a little bit of regret, wishing I just made a plunge earlier. Where I didn't think I had the expertise or, the technical know-how or, the skills as a writer. And I wrote a field report. Pretty soon after that, Poop brought me on to help out here and there with the daily recap. And, fast forward 6 to 8 months, and here we are. So if you have any desire at all, anything that you are passionate about, any field that you have, an edge that you would like to share, or an interesting perspective, or anything along those lines, we want to hear it. I want to hear it. And I guarantee, like I said, if you're in here, you're in the right place, and that's 90% of the job. If you have something that you'd like to share, I guarantee there are plenty of community members who would find it valuable. So, I mean, my big call is just, if you have ever had any sort of even an inkling of desire to write, to produce, to work on graphics, anything in the content world, please reach out to myself, Poop, THC. We would love to have you. And just like THC said, can't promise the world right now as we are scaling and we're working on ways to, build upwards and outwards. But we will do our best to find something that works for you, that fits your time schedule. A lot of this stuff is very fluid and flexible. So yeah, if any desire at all, please, please, please reach out. I guarantee you will not regret it.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you everybody for attending our TED Talk. Happy to take questions. I don't see any yet, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to unmute as well. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, we're here. If you have any questions about content team, how we create our content, any of that stuff, we are happy to field any questions.
You know, THC, I actually have one question for you, if you don't mind.
Hit me, dog.
If you had to guess, how many fingers do you think the guy in this Let's Create picture has on his hand?
Knowing that it came from Midjourney, I would guess north of 13 fingers, probably.
Good answer.
Just creating content, man. And what is he sitting on? Is he squatting? He's hovering. He's not. Is there a stool there, or is that his foot?
You know, he's doing his daily exercise. He's getting his power squats in. I don't think I could, live with a stance that low, but I'm old, so what do I know?
It's the opposite of a standing desk. So it's a squatting desk.
The squatter desk. He needs a little squatty potty under him.
Bro, that's the perfect size to take to the bathroom. You need a desk on the go. I think you found it.
Hey, Dookie Dash Stream. That's the desk I need right there. All right. Well, sweet. It doesn't look like there's any questions. Content's kind of a niche thing. Most of us just watch it, right? We just absorb it. You see it at the end. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it on the back end. Hopefully we were able to shed a little bit of light on just our approach to, the types of content that we want to make and how we make it and stuff like that. So yeah, we're always around. So if you guys ever have any questions, and like we've said, open call to reach out to us in DMs if you're interested in participating. But yeah, if you have any questions, we're around and we're happy to help. We do this all day, every day, and we love it. We would not, there's nothing else we would rather be doing. So we're going to continue making dope content. Yeah, no questions about that.
Great, guys. Great work. That was a great rundown. I really don't have anything to add. Just I think you guys covered it all very nicely. So thank you very much.